What's up, everybody? Finally got the update for the 3. Took forever. Wife usually gets hers first, but it was a good drive. There's a couple weird things that happened, but this was a different type of video, guys. I'm not going to really say too much. I had really fun with this video and got inspired by family to make this style of video. And if you guys are into it, please leave comments, likes, and throw this in the mix of different videos. But enough talking, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. Please comment and subscribe, and I hope everyone had a great Tuesday. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yo, what up, guys? What's going on? What's going on? I'm super excited. The 3 finally got it. I don't have to steal my wife's car anymore. I'm very excited about this one. We're just gonna cruise around town, talk, and just yeah, we'll just talk. Just trying to do something different instead of just talking about FSD. I feel like in some videos I've just like to talk about life in general. See if we can make this a series. But yeah, we'll just start with Grok first like we normally do, and we'll just freestyle this one, guys. All right, let's start this. Hey, Grok, can you take me to a nice route in Danville that is 20 minutes and end up back right here?
Sure, taking you on a nice scenic loop through Sycamore Valley Park and Diablo Foothills Regional Park. About 11 minutes to the first stop, then back here to Serene Court in Danville. Navigation set with those stops.
Cool, thanks. All right, guys. I guess I should give you some context on why I want to talk about life. I mean, I was with my Uncle Joe this weekend. I'm Auntie May, and I'm actually really excited for him. He's actually going to document, his journey of heart surgery, which I'm really excited about. Him and I have been texting a lot, texting back and forth, and he's asking me advice. We're kind of going back and forth with our own content, seeing what we like, sending each other posts of styles. And I really like that part of, being, I guess, a content creator, right? Is like the idea, not only that, the idea, but just collaborating together. Because, the more you're around content creators, you get more ideas, and, you learn more and they learn more. So it's kind of like a win-win, right? So that's why I just feel like, I don't know, I guess starting documenting my Tesla journey life, I guess. I like Tesla so much. I talk about it so much. I'm sure I annoy, the people that I'm around a lot, but I mean, it's a fun space to be in. I honestly, like I say all the time, I really didn't expect to meet all these people. It's a really cool feeling to be a part of, like-minded people, at the end of the day. So just appreciative. I was in a really dark time in my life, and, I just unfortunately used work to suppress that, and I kind of made work my life. And, for me to admit that was kind of big. We all struggle with it. And I feel like in seasons of life, no matter what age, we get addicted to our jobs. And, it's not right at the end of the day, for me at least. And the reason why I share my story is, like I've said so many times in my video, there's people out there that just need to hear something like that. I'm a firm believer in that, to motivate them, to change them. Because we all go through stuff at the end of the day, right? Whether that's trauma from our parents, some stuff that we went through in general through life, different early stages of ages of going through stuff. So I'm not ashamed to, share my story. We all have one. The person that drives me is my grandma and my grandpa. I mean, and they share their story with anybody they meet on the street. You know, they're unfortunately, my grandma's not here anymore, but my grandpa, he'll talk to you and tell you about his Air Force days, his days at Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines. I mean, he has plenty of stories, and I honestly feel like that's where I get a lot of my storytelling from. You know, a lot of my good friends that know me always like ask me like, "Yo, dude, how the heck did you remember that, bro?" And I don't know what it is. I have like a weird memory. You know, San Joaquin, our group kind of reminds me of that sometimes. Like, how the hell did you remember that? But I think that's where it stems from. Now that I'm honestly talking about it out loud, is my grandpa was always a good storyteller. Um, he really like makes it seem like you're there, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, that's where it drives from at the end of the day. Unfortunately in life, sometimes you lose people to wake up. And, for me personally, I woke up and realized that I made work kind of my everyday life, talked about it every day. And, I learned that when you're at work, you're at work. And when you're at home, you're at home. There's the reason why they made or created a clock in, clock out system. And I'm glad I pulled myself out of that mentality. Don't get me wrong, I'm very thankful for my job, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make my entire life. And I'm, like I said, I'm guilty of that. I let that happen, and it affected people around me. And luckily people around me not accepted, but realized like, hey, you need to make a change, and make that change, and we'll be here for you. And it's the greatest feeling when you have people that support you and change, and and every step of the way. If someone tells you they do everything alone, I believe that's a bold-faced lie. No one goes through life alone or figures out life alone. If you do, man, kudos to you. But yeah, for anyone out there, feeling conviction or whatever, your heart feels weird, and if that line of you making work your life hits you different and it makes you feel guilty, just work on it. That's all you can do, right? And if you feel it, that knot in yourself or that knot in your heart after a couple of things that I've talked about, don't feel guilty. Don't feel insecure about it. Just work on it, right? A lot of it's energy, what you put your energy into. If you're negative all day, you're going to get negative results. That's why it just like blows my mind when people are like, how can you be so happy? It's like, how can you be so upset all the time? You know what I mean? It's like, would you rather be happy or upset? I'd rather be around someone that's super happy than just like everything just sucks. It's like, that's kind of like, it's black and white for me right now. And I'm in a headspace where I feel like I can think clearer, and being in this headspace is, obviously it's a huge win for my wife, my son, and, those people that truly care about me, that are around me. And at the end of the day, guys, I don't portray myself as this perfect guy. No, not at all. I still have my flaws, but at the end of the day, I'm striving to stray away from negativity, trying to have not my mind go down that rabbit hole, because at the end of the day, I've been there, right? I know what that door offers at the end of the day, and I'd rather be on the other side of that, because life comes at you so fast. And I made that realize, and it made me realize at the end of the day that hey, you're living life, and eventually you're going to run into a brick wall. And that's, for me, like I said, this is my personal story, and I had to change that. I didn't want to be that way towards my friends, my family, and obviously the people that matter the most at home. You got to be, can't be perfect all the time, right? But if you have a mindset and a goal of how to be every day, that's all you can do, right? Everything else, the validation you seek from others, I wonder what this person, that doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, they don't pay your bills, and they don't see the sacrifice and everything behind the scenes. The people that truly care about you during seasons of life will always be there. They'll always be very evident to you. And that's what I learned, and if you lose people in your life, it's no hate. It's nothing like that. It's just, unfortunately, some people outgrow each other. I've lost friends, and not over beef, not over nothing. It's just, you outgrow each other, or you guys are just not in the same space as one another. And that's okay. And that's a part of life. A part of life is just learning how to navigate it. And, I don't look at, oh, well, you don't want to be my friend, then screw you. It's like, nah, it's just like right now we're just not driving, and that's okay. At the end of the day, you can't fixate yourself on getting validation, and I deal with a lot of that in my life, work, family, friends. I mean, everyone deals with it, right? Everyone's seeking validation, but that's why I push the message: get to know yourself, be alone, know who you are at the end of the day. I can't emphasize that enough, being, still continue to be bettering myself these past 2 years. 2 years ago, man, none of you guys would have wanted to met me. I'll be 1,000% honest with anyone watching this. Just upset, pissed off, and, I got back in my faith and got back on my saddle, and the rest was history, honestly. I was like really happy about that, and my wife is happy. I'm able to be the best version of myself to my son, and no one can take that away from me at the end of the day, right? So, like I say all the time, be good, do good, stay the course, and life will just life, and you just got to deal with it, one punch at a time, one situation at a time. Back in when I had stinking thinking, I would want to take on the world, take on everyone's problems, and not take care of my problems. And everyone goes through this season, right? The season of repair, whatever you want to claim it as. But like I said, I can't emphasize it enough. Get to know yourself. Be alone. Get to know who you are. Be comfortable in your own freaking skin. Because when you're down bad and nobody's there and all you have is yourself, at least you know yourself well enough to get yourself out of anything, right? But hate to get emotional on you guys, but that's just how I got to this point of being a new version of me, is just maturing, realizing certain aspects of my life I wasn't moving right in. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if people take it the wrong way and see like, oh, you changed and this and this and that, then whatever, right? You don't have to explain yourself to nobody. I mean, as long as you're not being disrespectful, you're not harming anyone, and you're really truly trying to be yourself and trying to find who you are as a person, I mean, there's honestly nothing wrong with that at all. And I give a lot of kudos to people that can mature and realize that and not have pride in it. Like, oh, well, this and this and that, right? You can't worry about what others think at the end of the day. When you start trying to seek validation, just ask yourself this: do those people pay your bills? Do those people take care of your kids? Do those people give you any peace? And if you hit no, 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 then move on. Right? There's no point of bad mouthing, hurting people, whatever, or having all these crazy thoughts. People know themselves, right? For the most part, until they hit rock bottom. If they don't give you peace, it is what it is. It's just not the season of life right now for either one of you. It's not either you or them. It's either one of you at the end of the day, right? And it's funny. I was my cousins, my younger cousins, hit me up, and they're like, "Hey, what's up, man? Like, we're obviously watching you from afar, seeing you doing your thing. What changed?" And I just flat out told them what changed was, everything. I looked at myself in the mirror. That was the change. So, and I kept it simple with them. Obviously, I'm going to keep that conversation between the three of us, but, one thing I told them is, you're at that age of being 24 to 26 where you seek validation, where you seek what people think about you. You care about what people think about you. And I told them at the end of the day, if you can iron that out now and not have that be a thing later on in age, you're winning. And, they gave me some great feedback, and, that type of stuff. I mean, that's support right there, right? Those are the people that really are genuinely there for you. And then you'll have fans, and you'll have different people in your life. But again, it goes back to the question of, do these people bring me peace? And if the answer is no, and you keep trying to convince yourself yes, then the answer is no, right? But that's all, guys. I mean, if you're still here watching this video, I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm just changing it up. Everyone kind of knows about FSD for the most part until another major upgrade. I just wanted to talk about life in general. And, a big motivation was talking to my good coworker. He's a dad. We talk every day at work, and he kind of gave me that suggestion, like, hey, dude, why don't you make it like a series or something instead of just you and I? And I was like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna make that a thing. All right, guys, for some reason FSD doesn't want to go here, so we're gonna anyway, sorry for that. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I mean, a lot of people helped me in this journey, and I've had some uncomfortable conversations with certain individuals, and they know who they are, and they push me, right? It's like, who cares? Push them. What are you doing wrong? And I'll leave that at that. And at the end of the day, guys, it's all about growth. I'm a huge firm believer. If you don't know who you are, you don't know what you're capable of. I think it's so important to know who you are as a person in order to take care of everyone around you. And that's something my grandpa beat into my head as a kid, right? And I never understood that as a kid. Obviously, I'm like, sure, grandpa, whatever that means, right? But now that I'm getting older, and life experience and going through trials and tribulations, now I understand why my grandpa says, know who you are before you know everyone else. And that means the world to me now that I understand it, because it makes sense, right? If you don't know who you are, how can you know how to be around everybody else if you can't get yourself right, is what I'm saying, right? So yeah, that's where it kind of motivated me. A mix of things, right? Like my Uncle Joe, he's getting surgery, and he wants to document that. That definitely motivated me to do that. And just my grandpa breaking down how he looked at life, how he got to know who he was at the end of the day, right? And sometimes, as scary as it is, you got to be alone. You got to understand how it is to be in your own skin versus being around a crowd all the time. Because sometimes your inner thoughts get boggled, meaning your beliefs and the person that you really are, when you're around a huge crowd all the time, or just around things that don't align to you. And people know what aligns to them and what ticks them off and what makes them happy. So yeah, guys, self-growth is the best. Self-worth is the best. And once you figure out, for the most part, you're never going to know who you're at, that 100% who you're going to be. But if you can confidently say, you know what, I don't have everything figured out, but at least I know who I am, and I'm just going to roll with the punches as they come. And that's all you can do, right? Like the saying I keep saying, be good, do good, and stay on the course. That's all you can do in life. And when the chorus gets rocked a little bit, deal with it at then, right? Deal with it then at the end of the day. But other than that, guys, besides the emotional aspect of life, we had a super good weekend. You know, the San Joaquin group is, I mean, guys, you just have to experience it for yourself. Be around us, go to events. I think, our community specifically, and I can only speak for us because that's only who I've been around. So, yeah, our community, I mean, we're funny. There's good days, there's bad days, but, we never forget, I guess you would say, the mission or whatever you want to claim it as, which is just helping each other grow, being there for one another. And I'm like super thankful for that at the end of the day. I met a lot of good and great, genuine people. And, the amount of advice that these people have and have given me, they don't have to do that, right? And they don't have to take the time out of their day to give me that advice to life, right? But for me at least, when people take the time out of their day to give you life advice or just any good advice, I mean, it always makes me happy at the end of the day because, people don't have to do that for you, but they're willing to do that for you. That's the difference. So, one person that really hit home this week was Prez. I don't like to share too much of our stuff, but I feel like, this message is, control what you can control. I know that's such a boring saying, right? Like, oh God, here we go, right? But if you really break that down, what that means is do what you do, control what you control, and anything outside of that, let it be, because that's not your problem, right? And when he said that to me, it reminded me of like, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not making other people's problems my problems as long as it doesn't pertain to me. And Prez, man, like, that guy, he may be funny, but that guy has a lot of good game. He has really good advice, and he's just an overall good dude. I know we see him online. He's a funny, quirky type of guy, but when you really need a breakdown and talk to him about life, he'll tell you in a way that won't offend you. FSD, listen to that guy wave hell to the frickin' yeah. Sorry, Press. Yeah, I mean, the conversations, like I said, I don't want to say too much. That's just stuff between me and Prez. I mean, the guy always uplifts me at the end of the day and gets me back on my pivot. And, sometimes it's not the way I want to hear it, but, at the end of the day, sometimes you have to hear it that way. And, just get over it, because his intention is not to make you feel like a freaking bag of bricks, but to tell you and make you realize, like, dude, chill out. Slow down. You're doing it again. So, yeah, I appreciate that guy. I mean, I appreciate every single one of them. I feel like in my videos, I'm going to bring up every single one of them. Just because each and every one of them in our group has had such an impact on, like, who I am and, who I'm becoming. And obviously, if stuff doesn't work, then cool, let it go, pivot, and see what you need to do to make whatever you want to make work. Yeah, that was a straight tongue twister. But yeah, guys, we got a couple minutes left until we hit the destination. I honestly was so locked in just talking. We were going in circles. FSD was kind of struggling to find that parking lot. So Tesla AI team, you already know what to do. And another weird thing is, I don't know, you'll see in the video, I kept trying to click to turn, but it would take me out. So weird little bug. But yeah, guys, let me know if you guys like this type of content, just daily talks of life in general. Sometimes, watching FSD videos I wouldn't say they're not boring, but they're more like, okay, I know what to expect, unless it's like one of those crazy thriller ones. So like I said, man, I just wanted to try something new. I'll obviously still do my FSD videos because, man, I love FSD, but just wanted to switch it up. You know, I had a really good day overall, from work to home to San Joaquin group to just overall a really good day. You know, and for anyone out there that's listening, if I hit home for you, or if I made you feel convicted, or hey, if this video is a complete waste of time, that's okay. As long as there's one person that will allow me to oh my gosh, I can't stand people like, just go. I high beamed you. People, if you get high beamed at, that is a signal to go. Don't wave for me to go. If I high beam at you, just go. Anyways, jeez. But yeah, guys, I mean, if there's anyone out there that, you know, even one person that, you know, took some positivity out of this conversation, let me know in the comments, and, you know, I'll continue these videos if that's the case. But yeah, guys, we just talked about life today, did our thing. We are finally on 14.3. So I'm really excited to see and make content on this thing. Model 3, I don't know what it is, guys. Like, it takes forever to get the update. The Y gets it like ASAP. But I appreciate you guys watching. Give me feedback on angles, whatever. I know usually I get a little closer in the face, but I wanted to kind of pay attention and see what FSD was doing while talking to you guys. So let me know in the comments if you want the camera a little closer to the face. Like I said, I just got the update for the Model 3 on 14.3.2. So I kind of wanted to pay attention and talk and see what this version brings, because I was on 14.2.2.5 for a while, and then there's just like this huge push. I mean, Wen got it, and I've seen so many people on X got it. So I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And like I said, be good, do good, stay the course, and just deal with life as it goes. Appreciate you guys. We will catch you guys on the next one.